All right, here with Sean Bormet. It's Wednesday morning. We're getting ready to leave town in just about 30 minutes to head to South Dakota. But first, we want to sit down and do the 5 questions. I want to reflect first on the Midlands Championships just a few days ago. We had two guys place with Dylan Ragusin and Bo Mantanona. Can you touch on their performances just a little bit?
Yeah, great wrestling. I thought Dylan Ragusin throughout the tournament, he got better match to match, and I think he was wrestling at his best most of day two in the semifinals and finals. Really dominant semifinal win, and I thought he wrestled a real smart match. Did a good job in those finals, and it was a great tournament for him to win. And he's continued. That's his third tournament he's won so far in this first semester. So great job. Bo Mantanona, same thing. He's wrestling great. He had a tough loss with Hamidi from Wisconsin. It's the second time they've wrestled this year. I thought he really closed the gap in the first period with him in comparison to that first time they wrestled at the Michigan State Open. Second period got away from him a little bit, but he came storming back in the wrestlebacks. Just super aggressive and competes really hard in every position. Came all the way back and took third. And he's also continuing to rack up bonus wins. I mean, I think he's 14-4 at this point. In his freshman year, he's got 5 pins. I think he's leading the team with pins right now. I knew he was going to be an exciting wrestler for our fan base, and I remember saying that at one point after he signed with us, and he is definitely proving it when he's on the mat. So super great job for both those guys.
Before that, senior nationals freestyle down in Texas. We had 3 guys go, all 3 placed. Daringer won and got himself qualified for the Olympic trials. Talk about his performance.
Yeah, Alex, great performance, dominant, 4-0. Those are all obviously, tough guys he's wrestling, good guys, experienced guys. So he had a dominant performance. Huge adjustments from the last time he competed. I mean, he was really, in all his matches within the first, 30 seconds, he was in on attack, scoring points, and then kept the pedal down. I think his finals match was 6-0 over Mark Hall, but, he was scoring early. He was finishing matches with scores, and just wrestling the way that, that he's always wrestling at his best is with his offense and using his power and his strength. Just great job with Alex. I thought Adam Kuhn did a great job. He lost in those finals to Schultz, but he is right there on the verge of beating him in a few different key positions. I think a little faster start in that match would have benefited him a lot. I know he's got a big overseas tour coming up with a 2-week training camp over in Croatia, and for him that's really important, having those Greco training partners. They're a little more scarce here in the U.S., so going overseas for him will help him a lot as he's preparing for those Olympic trials. Alec Pantelio, tough tournament for Alec. He really did an incredible job, super disciplined with his weight control. Couldn't ask for a better effort from him getting down to 65 kilos. He's been competing up at 70 kilos the last 3 years. The last Olympic year, he actually tried to wrestle at 74 kilos. Unfortunately, he's kind of in between those 2 weights. Tremendous amount of discipline to get his weight down to 65 kilos, and he really put a great effort on the mat. Unfortunately, his body just could not hold up from a wrestling standpoint after cutting the weight and recovering and making weight the second day. You could just kind of see it. So that was tough, for Alec, and it's just unfortunate we get to an Olympic year and we go from 10 weight classes to 6 weight classes, and I feel sometimes a little frustrated with the UWW. It's the governing body for this, and I feel like we should be fighting to add some more weight classes in these Olympic years, because we can't have 6 weights where they're 20 plus pounds apart, and there's just too many good wrestlers around the world that are in between these weights. So that part of it's a little frustrating for me, but really great effort by Alec. Great wrestling by Alex Daringer, and super excited for him going into this 2024 year.
Now that Daringer is qualified, he can kind of shift a little bit of attention back to the Michigan team, where he's recruiting coordinator, video coordinator. How valuable is just to have that presence around the Michigan guys?
Yeah, we're excited to have Alex back in the mix with us. Obviously, he'll still be continuing to train and compete, but we'll definitely have him plugged in with the team, plugged in with our recruiting, plugged in with all of our video analysis and video work a lot more in this second semester. And you know, Alex just brings a ton of energy, a ton of experience. You know, he's a 3-time NCAA champion, Hodge Trophy winner. He's a winner, and just a great positive attitude, winner's mindset around the guys. So super excited, and he's a lot of fun. Just a ton of fun to have with. So super excited to have Alex back in the mix with us, and he'll be heading to South Dakota State with us today.
All right, new addition to the roster, not new addition to the room, but Austin Gomez officially joined the team. He'll be making his debut this week. How excited are you to have Austin on the roster?
Definitely excited about Austin. Excited to see him compete tomorrow night for the first time in the maize and blue. I've known Austin since he was born. I've known his father since we were freshmen in high school. Great relationship with him and his family, and just super excited for him. He's been training at a real high level since he got here for the club, and with all his Olympic level pursuits, he's really excited about this last collegiate opportunity, and really excited to be part of this team and be with our coaching staff. And he's been locked in his training since he's been back with us since the break and on the roster. So really excited to see him compete tomorrow and inject him into the team.
After a month of training, you know, we're getting ready to compete again. How excited are you to get back on the road?
Never been to South Dakota myself personally, and I know we've never wrestled there as a program. You know, Sanford at the Pentagon, I know it's I haven't been there to see it, but I've seen online, I've seen different, visuals of it. It looks like a great arena. I know they've been doing some really cool things and outstanding events in basketball and MMA at this arena. It's a newer arena. South Dakota State's got a really competitive, strong team. They wrestle hard. Excited for this dual meet, and I know it's going to be a great environment. So it's a great way to start the new year before we head into that Big Ten season.
All right, Sean, thank you, and go blue.
Go blue.